Buddhaya. Welcome to the Dhammapada program. This is the number 58 verse and also 59th verse of the 4th chapter of Dhammapada called Puppa Vagga, as a chapter on flowers. It begins with Yatha Sankhara Dhanasmim Ujjitasmim Mahapate Padumam Tatha Jayetha Suchi Gandham Manorama Evam Sankhara Bhute Su Andha Bhute Putujjani Ati rochati panyaya samma sambuddha savako. Is a very beautiful meaning. That means a lovely lotus with pleasing fragrance may grow even upon a heap of rubbish thrown on the highway. Likewise, a disciple of the fully enlightened Buddha may outshine in wisdom all other blind, ignorant, ordinary beings. This was uttered by the Buddha at a time when he realized that there were two friends that they wanted to offer dana, and they wanted first of all test the supernormal power of the Buddha. In fact, those friends were called Garadhinna, Radhinna, and the other one was Sirigutta. Let us, for understanding sake, let's say Gara was one friend, the other one was Siri. And they were very close friends. One day, this Gara often said to his friend Siri, very often he used to say that, what benefit do you get by following the Buddha? Come be a follower of my teacher. Sirigutta said, tell me what your teacher or what your teachers know. Then the Gara said that, well, my teachers know everything. With their great power, they know the past, the present, and the future, and also the thoughts of others. So Sirigutta one day invited some followers of a different sect to his house for alms food. Sirigutta wanted to know the truth about these so-called followers, we call Nigantas, who were naked ascetics. So he wanted to test them, whether they really possessed the power of knowing the other's mind. So he made a deep trench, filled it up with dirt and filth. Seeds are then placed insecurely over the trench, and empty pots were brought in and covered up with clothes and banana leaves to make them appear as if they were full of various foods. The Nigantas, those ascetics, naked ascetics, arrived, and they were asked to enter one by one and to stand near their respective seats and sit down simultaneously. As all of them sat down, the weak ropes broke and the Nigantas fell into the dirty trench. Then Sirigutta insulted them. Why don't you know the thoughts of others? His argument is okay, but he's asking, why didn't you know the thoughts of others? All the Nigantas then fled in terror and embarrassment. Those ascetics, they left. Then Garadinna, the other friend of Gara, was furious with Siri after this incident and refused even to talk to his friend. Then he decided to take revenge of Siri. At the word of Gara, Sirigutta invited the Buddha and his disciples for almsgiving to the home of Gara. Siri explained the early incident to the Buddha and expressed that this invitation might be a revenge for early incident. By his supernormal power, the Buddha knew that these two friends were fortunate enough to attain the first stage of sainthood, and therefore Buddha accepted the invitation. Buddha could foresee that these two friends were fortunate to attain the first stage of the Arahanthood, enlightenment. So the Buddha accepted the invitation. Gara, knowing that Buddha accepted the invitation, made a trench, filled it with live coals, and covered it with mats. The next day, the Buddha and his disciples went to the house of Gara. When the Buddha stepped on the mat over the trench, the mat and live coals miraculously disappeared. Instead, very big lotus flowers sprang up for the Buddha and his disciples to sit upon. Miracles. We cannot imagine how these things happen because we are far, far, far away from even getting a little bit knowledge about how the miracles work. So therefore don't guess how this is possible. Miracles are possible, those who are spiritually attained certain stage, at different stages. Buddha was definitely a highest level of enlightenment, supreme Buddha. So, seeing this miracle, Gara was alarmed and asked Siri's help to solve this great wrong action done by him for revenge. He said he had not prepared any food, and the pots in the kitchen were also empty. Sirigutta told Garadinna, to go to the kitchen and check in the pots. He has not prepared anything, empty pots. He went to the kitchen as requested by his friend. He found that all the pots filled with food, and he was astonished and was very happy. Then food was offered to the community of disciples of the Buddha, headed by the Buddha. After the meal, the Buddha made the appreciation sermon we call Anumodana of the meritorious act and said these verses that I recited. Ignorant general public, or ignorant general people, or ignorant ones, lacking in ethical knowledge, do not know the unique qualities of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And so they are like the blind. But the wise, having proper knowledge, are like men with sight. While listening to the Dhamma explained by the Buddha, Gara's body was suffused with joy and happiness. At the end, two friends attained the first stage of sainthood. That's what is there. Yatha sankhara dhanasmim ujjitasmim mahapathe padumam tatta jayeta suchi gandham manorama. The heap of rubbish cast upon the highway equals to sankhara. Sankhara is a Pali word, sankhara, which means constituent potentiality. It's a constituent potentiality or cause combination. Cause combination or mental concomitants. Constituent potentiality can be explained as cause combination. Mental concomitants or the aggregate of the conditions or essential properties for a given process or result, or result in an existence. It's a little bit difficult to understand, but if you repeat, if you listen again and again slowly, mindfully, carefully, you will be able to catch the grasp or grasp the meaning, deep meaning of this. And it is very important to understand. So the heap of rubbish, dead things, are equal to normal, general public or general people. They are blind to reality. The term sankhara has many meanings. The sum of the conditions or properties resulting in life or existence, ayu sankhara, you call, resulting in life or existence, ayu sankhara. So sankhara is in two different means. Then secondly, essential conditions, coordinated activity, mental coefficients, requisite for act, speech and thought, kaya sankhara, vachi sankhara, and mano sankhara. Sankhara, everything. Sankhara means everything, all physical and visible, life, all creation, a world of phenomena, all things which have been made up by pre-existing causes. So sankhara loka means the material world, what we can see, touch, feel, all sankhara, material world. The world of formation. It's deep to understand, but these are the reality, truth. So try your best to understand. Even after, later, when you go, repeat this, listen again and again. And if you have any question, then you can ask me later. So, Sankhara Loka means the material world, the world of formation. Sabbe Sankhara Anicca means all things of the world are subject to change. Sabbe Sankhara Anicca, all the things of the world. Whatever we see, we touch, we feel, all these things are subject to change. What do we mean by aniccham? That is change, motion or evolution, and so on. Today, our brilliant scientists, especially physicists, presented the great theory, which is called the theory of uncertainty. The famous physicist for this theory is Heisenberg. Although this theory is new for the domain of physics, it is an ancient theory explained by the Buddha. Buddhism explains there is a Khana Bhamgura Vada, the momentary change of everything. Khana Bhamgura Vada, momentary change of everything in the world. It is a teaching of far excellence. Khana Bhangura Vada, the teaching of the Buddha, is a far excellence. It means everything changes moment by moment. We can compare and contrast this theory with the motion or moving of atoms and its constituents. Theory of the motion or moving of atoms and its constituents. How the scientists explain the nature of electrons, neutrons, and positrons. Electrons, protons, neutrons, and positrons. It is the momentary change of the theory of Khana Bhangura Vada, Buddha's theory. The disciples of Buddha, the Bodhisattvas, the Arahants, the Bodhisattvas, one who aspire to be Buddhas, and the Arahants, the enlightened ones, and other virtuous ones arise up from this unclean society. From this society where we live. So Buddha was a part of our society, but he was enlightened, attained Buddhahood, and shine forth by their knowledge and great wisdom above the blinded general public. The worldlings are naturally blinded by their mental defilements. They have no knowledge of the Dhamma, the reality, true nature of the world, the universe, or sankhara, or understanding of the repercussions of sensual pleasures. Yes? And it is more dangerous than physical blindness, for it would conduce you to suffering of this world and the life after death. And also, in the process of samsaric life, there are two types of putujanas, ordinary people. Putujanas, ordinary people, or the worldlings, people who live in the world. There are two types of people. Andha putujana, he who knows no ethical knowledge and always attached to sensual pleasures and knows no what out and what ought not to be done. So that's the first ordinary person, or putujanas, worldlings. The other one is kalyana putujana. He understands the sufferings and knows what ought and what ought not to be done. He leads a happy life by helping others and engage in meritorious actions. So, how nice, how wonderful is the explanation of Buddha. Not to doubt about the noble qualities or unique qualities of the Buddha. Noble qualities of the Buddha, or enlightened ones. It is beyond our grasp. That's what yatha sankhara anasmin ujjitasmin mahapati paduman tatha jayete suchi gandham manoramam evam sankhara bhutesu andha bhutye putujane achi ati rochati Anyaya Samma Sambuddha Savako. I feel like repeating again. So nice. What a wonderful verse. What a wonderful. The last two verses of the 4th chapter called Flowers. How nice. I tell you again the meaning. A lovely lotus with pleasing fragrance may grow even upon a heap of rubbish thrown on the highway. Likewise, a disciple of the fully enlightened Buddha may outshine in wisdom all other blind, ignorant, ordinary worldlings, ordinary beings. So, Buddha was, before he attained the supreme level, he was living in the society. Just like a rubbish thrown on the highway, in this society is just like a rubbish bin. And his disciple, enlightened one, they all were in this society, but they emerged. Right? They emerged, they outshine in wisdom all other blind, ignorant people, and enlightened, supreme enlightenment. You have the ability. We have the ability. We should do little by little. We have to give up attachment, defilements, ignorance. How we should do as the Buddha's advice. Kammaro rajataseva thoka thokang khane khane. Little by little, slowly but surely, gradually, surely. Buddha said, if you want peace, there is a teaching of the Buddha, and he invited us, come and see me. Buddha's teaching is unique, sublime teaching. a unique teaching of the Supreme Buddha. Please try to learn one word of the Buddha daily. For that, may you have the courage, knowledge, wisdom. May you all be well and happy.